Alright, what's up you guys? Welcome to my 2024 toy collection video. So, without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and get started and look at all the amazing figures that I have in my collection that really define me, who I am as a collector. So, first and foremost, if you guys see my live streams behind me, you'll see I have this poster frame. It is the Linkin Park Meteora 20-year mural that they created for the album Meteora, and this is basically what inspired me to become an artist. So, I absolutely love this entire mural right here. I love Meteora. It's one of my favorite Linkin Park albums of all time, and it definitely helped me become an artist that I am today. So this is definitely a must-have into my collection for sure. Alright, so we're going to start off with the miscellaneous, or should I say the NECA collection. And this is basically some of my favorite collections that I have in terms of horror, 80s icons, and some video game properties, and other amazing even subscriber gifts. So starting with people all the way in the back, we have, of course, Back to the Future. We have Clark Griswold from A National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Of course, my favorite artist, Bob Ross from NECA. And moving on to the right, we have Goliath from NECA. Thank you, Ray Pass, for sending that over as a gift. We have a lot of these horror icons. We have Savage Crucible, which is probably one of my all-time favorite new lines to collect. Up here in the front, we have the main hard hitter of horrors like Jason, Michael, and Freddy, and then Chucky, of course, being in the front, and The Thing, Evil Dead. Then we have the Stranger Things Ghostbusters 4-pack, which I thought was really awesome. We have Kevin McAllister from Home Alone. Here we have Ralphie Parker from A Christmas Story. Of course, Crash Bandicoot. I did not have room for these two guys to fit in the bottom shelf, so you'll see that later on. Here we have the E.T. from NECA as well, and some GIJOE Classified pets. But other than that, a really cool start-off introduction to these amazing characters that I have to kind of start off like the miscellaneous part of my collection. So again, it also some He-Man Masters of the Universe figures there as well. So pretty cool for what it is, but I hope to expand it even more and buy more horror figures down the line to have more of a complete collection. Alright, so now moving on down here, we have my DC collection, and I am a big fan of the Joel Schumacher Batmans, or Batman the Animated Series. So of course I have to have all these amazing Val Kilmer or George Clooney Batmans, and we can see in the back we got a couple of Supermans there, kind of giving it more of a Justice League vibe with some Justice League characters in the semi-back. Can't really tell, like the JLA line, and then some other Batmans and Robins. So the way I basically organized it is to have all the Batmans stand next to their respective Robins, and kind of give it like a cool vibe of where each Batman came from what animated series or cartoon, what film, and overall from what specific scene from a specific movie. And then of course in the bottom here we have a lot of the Batman main villains, which I thought was really cool. Big fan of the Joker, so of course I had to have some multiple Jokers there. And I hope to expand this line even more to some extent in terms of getting every single DC villain, but for now this is as good as I can get, and of course I'm running out of shelf space. So one of the things I really do enjoy about this collection is just having these amazing different Supermans in the back right there. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. But the most important favorite part for me is really just having the Joel Schumacher Batmans up in the front. So cannot go wrong with these Batmans, and of course having the Robins go along with it. So I absolutely love the DC line. Very cool, very nostalgic. So yeah, so that's my DC collection. Alright, and now moving down here, we have some Marvel Toybiz villains shelf. And I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man the Animated Series, X-Men the Animated Series, so we can see a lot of the very popular villains in the front, most importantly, of Spider-Man the Animated Series, as I love all these iconic villains that came throughout the cartoon, and they really showcased why I love that animated series. It's definitely one of the best of all time, probably my top 3 favorite cartoons for sure. And then as we move on to the back, we have a lot of X-Men villains, Fantastic Four villains, mostly X-Men, and then we have some miscellaneous villains somewhere in the back there as well, which is some of the D-side, C-side characters. and I tried to do a little more of an Avengers-esque type, because Silver Surfer is also one of my all-time favorite animated series, so I know that Thanos and Galactus was in that show, as well as Fantastic Four. We have Apocalypse and, of course, Kingpin there. Yeah, Loki, and a lot of other hard-hitting characters as well, Dormammu, Doctor Doom. So, again, with X-Men being one of my, I think I love X-Men more than I love Spider-Man. However, Spider-Man the Animated Series is where I fell in love with collecting Toy Biz villains. So, very excited to finally have a good collection of monstrous villains and stuff like that. Yeah, so other than that, I'm really excited to have these, and hopefully there's a lot more Toy Biz Marvel figures that I need to collect and put into my collection, but for now this will do, as this is roughly about like 80 to 90% complete for me. So yeah, I absolutely love this whole set of roster right here. I did forget to mention Ultron was back there, and that's actually one of my other favorite figures to own. But as we move down here into my other, I guess you can say, Sentai miscellaneous collection, or somewhat martial arts, first and foremost we have Turbo Man from Jingle All the Way. So I absolutely love that. This is the Funko version from 2000, well, whatever, a few years ago. This is not the original 1994 5 version, whereas that one's expensive, but roughly the same exact mold and everything. So whatever, still great for what it is. So if you guys remember Police Force from the 90s, probably where I got these from KB Toys, a very nice Sentai Japanese show, which is very iconically forgotten, but at the same time it's one of the best set of 5 figures that I absolutely love. And this is a set that I remember buying in KB Toys. These are all complete, by the way, so very awesome to finally have these in my collection. And it took me a while to finally get, but I was extremely excited to get. Then in the back we have the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord. We have the White Tiger, and then the original 90s Megazord. I do plan to get the Dragon Zord at some point, but for now this will do. On the left side we have some other Sentai figures, or should I say some other Japanese style, like Big Bad Beetleborgs, Superhuman Samurai, VR Troopers. And then as we move towards the middle, we have the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Automorph Flip Heads from the 90s, and of course the Ninjetti series in the back behind them. On the right, we have one of my holy grails, which is Ronin Warriors, if you guys remember that animated series. One of my favorites as well, so I'm happy to have all 5 of these into my collection. We have Mystic Knights of Terranogs. Mostly all of these are like from the Saban era of 90s. We have Chuck Norris from Karate Commandos, which is a fantastic figure. Thank you, Mr. Sampson, for that one. And as we move towards the front here, we have WMAC Masters. For those that, another Chuck Norris figure. For those that don't know who WMAC Masters is, it's like a 90s martial arts show that consists of a lot of actors or stunt doubles that were in Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, and other, even Mortal Kombat, other amazing movies and shows. Then we have the Toy Biz, Street Fighter, Ryu, and Ken, so I hope to get more of those figures down the line. They haven't made all of the roster of Street Fighter, but I hope to collect the rest of the figures down the line. But for now, I'm happy that this is very colorful, very vibrant shelf right here. Again, more like the Sentai, Saban, martial arts, robotic type of collection. So, and if you grew up in the 90s and probably late 80s, you would know that martial arts was a big part of everyone's life. So I really wanted to pay homage to that. So very excited for this one. So that is the martial arts Sentai shelf with the amazing Turbo Man. Alright, so as we move towards the next shelf here, we have one of my all-time holy grails again, which is my Transformers Beast Wars collection. Now, for those who don't know, I'm a huge Beast Wars fan. I love Beast Wars over the original G1 Transformers. This is basically my love and introduction to Transformers over the G1. And that's when I went back in time to watch G1 and fell in love with that series afterwards. The concept of having animals turn into robots is just freaking fantastic. So this is basically about 99% complete. I'm missing probably like 1 or 2 minor characters that were not in the show, just, created for fun. But a lot of the main hard hitters that were in the show are all here, all complete. Of course, we have the Cheetors, the Rat Traps, the Tigatrons, Air Razors, some other miscellaneous characters that weren't in the show, Black Arachnia, all of the Optimus Primals, some of the smaller scale figures in the back, standing on top, which is I love, like the higher rise figures. We have Tigerhawk right there, Depth Charge, an amazing character, and we have a lot of the shark characters right there, like Cyber Sharks and stuff like that. So, and of course, my favorite Beast Wars character will always be Rhinox. So I absolutely love this version of Rhinox. It's probably one of the most accurate figures. I do plan on getting the MP series at some point, but for now, this will do. And as we move towards the left over here, I do want to emphasize that characters like Depth Charge and Tiger Hawk definitely had one of the most hard-hitting emotional storylines in Beast Wars. So for those who haven't seen it, should definitely check it out. But in the front, having a lot of the main characters in the front, really cool. We have, Tigatron with Air Razor and stuff like that. Really cool storylines, and yeah, some other amazing characters part of the toy line as well. But overall, I really wanted to collect Beast Wars and get a bunch of different characters, and overall, I'm really, really happy and excited that I was able to get this. So that is my Transformers Beast Wars collection. Alright, so now, moving up here, we have another one of my favorite collections, which is the Marvel Toybiz. Now, this is extremely cluttered because I tried my best to fit every figure that I have in one shelf. Does not do justice, but I hope to really get another shelf at some point and do an organization of having animated series separated. But in the front, you can see I have a lot of the X-Men, the animated series. A lot of these are not accurate, like Jubilee there, but that's basically the only version she made. Gambit will always be my favorite X-Men. And like I mentioned during the villains shelf, that the X-Men are my favorite group of Marvel heroes of all time. So I had to put these guys in the front to pay respect to them because I absolutely love the X-Men. This Colossus figure is freaking fantastic for those that don't own it. We have X-Force, X-Factor, all the amazing guys. On the left side here, we have a lot of the other miscellaneous characters, and same goes for the characters that we have on the right. More other miscellaneous characters, and the Alpha 5 there too. Not sure if you can really tell. But as we move towards the back, you can see there's a lot of Spider-Man characters as well from the animated series, different variants of Spider-Man. And I really wanted to capture the Marvel Avengers up there on the top. A lot of the Toy Biz Marvel to kind of give it that Avengers MCU style. We got Iron Man, we have Black Panther, Bucky, Black Widow, Thor, Hulk, Ant-Man, and yeah, Hawkeye, Falcon, Doctor Strange back there, Shang-Chi, Vision. So of course, just an amazing set of characters to add into the collection. And some of the Silver Surfer characters. I freaking love Silver Surfer animated series, if you don't remember from the villain shelf. So we have Drax right there, Silver Surfer. We have, what's his name back there? Captain Marvel, and so many, Adam Warlock too, some amazing characters, even Nova back there. So absolutely incredible set of characters. Oh, he uses War Machine, can't tell. And yeah, some Fantastic Fours even there. So, like I said, they're all scrumbled and scrunched up in there, but you guys can pretty much get the point of how much I love collecting Marvel old school 90s Toy Biz, because that's where my love for these characters always came, because of the animated series and always seeing these figures on the shelves at like KB Toys and Toy Biz and stuff like that. Sorry, KB Toys and Toys R Us. So yeah, this is my Marvel Heroes shelf, which is again one of my all-time favorites. Alright, so as we move towards the holy grails of all my entire shelves and collections, we have none other than my G.I. Joe O-Ring collection. Now, for those that say that I don't know G.I. Joe or don't collect G.I. Joes, let this collection speak for itself. This is basically what started my love for G.I. Joe. This is basically where my passion for talking about G.I. Joe, collecting G.I. Joe all began. Classified is great and everything, but this is basically as a kid remembering where and why I loved G.I. Joe to begin with. So I have a lot of the Cobras, or mostly all the main Cobras in the back. I plan to elevate those in the back a lot higher so you can see more of the main characters, but I do have a lot of the main hard hitters back there. Not sure if you can really tell. They're scrunched up in there, but the Dreadnoks, of course, are taking the forefront, which is pretty cool. My favorite Cobra, Copperhead, kind of tilting to the side over there. We got Serpentor, we have Nemesis Immortal, or Enforcer now, or the other way around, Tomax Xamot, Destro, or Major Blood, Storm Shadow, Big Boa. So yeah, amazing rosters. And we have the Vipers over there in the back, really setting off the tones. And then we have some other, I guess you can say, Valor versus Venom and Spy Troops figures, and then some Arctic Snow characters kind of in the right side. And as we get towards the front, we have a lot of the main GIJOES. Thank you, Mr. Sampson, for that scoop figure. I had to put him in there with the main roster. But we have the Hawks, the Flints, the Dukes, the Flints, Beachhead, Sergeant Slaughter, and yes, and then on this side we have a lot of the Water Cobra characters, and then the Ninjas there in the front. And then we have the Leonard Corpse figures back there. And then on the left side I have more of like the techie guys, or the water characters, and a lot of the medics and stuff. But as we get towards the front, it's mostly more of the animated series characters, of course putting my favorites in the front, like Mainframe, Dial Tone, Spirit. And then we have the Snake Eyes and Shipwreck, Sci-Fi, Blowtorch, Lowlight, Airtight, Kamakura, Lift Ticket, Airborne, Wild Bill, Ripcord, and of course some of the Battle Force 2000 figures. We got the Starduster figure back there. So one of my other favorite Cobras, Night Viper, freaking love him. So I can't go over all of these figures, but you guys pretty much get the point of why it is I love collecting O-rings more than I love collecting classified. But again, this is again where it all started, where my collections began, why I love collecting GIJOES, and just vibrantly looking so beautiful. And and by the way, these are all complete, by the way, in most likely great condition. A lot of their weapons are packed up in bags and bins to save space on the shelf, but they're all complete here. And I wanted to kind of pay an homage to the animated series movie. So we got the Falcon, Taurus, Red Dog, and then we have Tunnel Rat, Jinx, Chuckles, Law and Order. So I wanted to do like a whole animated series section right there, or the 87 movie. So that is my G.I. Joe O-ring collection. Now I'm going to kind of go a little bit out of order here, but this is kind of the second to last shelf where I have my Transformers Beast Wars characters and some dinosaurs from Bandai. If you haven't seen that show either, it's really the same thing as Transformers roughly. But these are the Predacons, as this shelf that you saw prior was the Maximals. So we have the Predacons here, not too much of a big roster. However, the Predacons also had some of the best storytelling in the Transformers Beast Wars story arc and lore. So freaking fantastic. I don't know if I'll ever get into G1 and collect those because those are massive and there's so many characters, but for now, the Predacons will always be like my favorite Transformers villains of all time, because can't go wrong with all three Megatrons right there. Freaking fantastic, and I absolutely just love looking at how amazing and beefy all these figures are. Also very frail and fragile plastic, so gotta be careful when transforming them, or even just lifting them up and trying not to break them, because some of these have broke before. But yeah, not too much to say other than I just love looking at the Transformers shelves, because these basically took up 2 shelves on its own. Same with the Marvel characters, but these Transformers are just so big and hefty. And again, very underrated show, but if you guys have not seen the Bandai Dinosaurs show, check it out. It's pretty cool. Alright, so now moving up to another awesome shelf that I have, which is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and these deserve to have their own shelf. Starting from the back, we have the movie Turtles, or should I say the villains, Oroku Saki, Maru Yoshi, Splinter, Secret of the Ooze figures, really cool bitch-ass Danny, some multiple versions of Splinters from different shows, which is pretty cool. Toka, Razar, we got the Foot Clan in the back, Casey Jones and April O'Neil, depending on how you want to, display them in certain scenes of the movie. So I have basically 3 versions of Casey's, which sucks, but it is what it is. We have the anime versions of the Super Turtles. We have the movie Star Turtles from the second movie, supposedly, April O'Neil, and then we have some of the NECA awesome animated series turtles right there, which is really, really awesome. And then in the front here, I decided to put the original 88 or 87, 88 turtles in the front from the animated series, which is really cool. And yeah, so I know the turtles have a whole buttload of characters, but for me, this is probably as an extent as I can get. And hopefully at some point I can get the NECA tattoo figure and display him somewhere in the back there, but for now, I can't find that guy. However, at some point, I hope to add him in there. And then I can finally wrap a bow to my movie collection and say, this is all pretty much complete, at least for me. I don't need every single Ninja Turtles character or variant, but I do want to emphasize the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the Next Mutation line. I love these turtles right here. Next Mutation is really awesome. So, very cool. Love the turtles, and roughly complete. Just waiting for that NECA tattoo figure to come at some point. Alright, so now we're going to move on to what I call the 90s animated series shelf. There's a lot packed in here. So many animated series from the 90s. We have, or even some 80s here. So on the right side, we have some of the Thundercats. We have some Ghostbusters. We got the 90s Biker Mice from Mars. We have Mighty Ducks, Double Dragon, Monster Force, Mummies Alive, Skeleton Warriors, Jurassic Park, Wildcats, if you haven't seen that show, which is pretty cool, Gargoyles, absolutely love that show. Gargoyles will definitely hands down be in my top favorite animated series, probably my top 3 for sure. Very dark show for that matter. In the back there, some miscellaneous villains and stuff from these animated series. The Tick is a really cool animated series show. I highly recommend people to watch it if you need a good laugh. Double Dragon's really cool too. So yeah, roughly a lot of these 90s characters, the Shadow, the original first Batman, a lot of these characters are really cool, so not too much to say other than it just brings out the whole animated series vibes for me. So that is my 90s cartoon, or like Fox Kids or 80s Saturday mornings cartoon shelf. Alright, so now moving up to G.I. Joe Classified. So now, moving to the right over here, we have the thank you Esteban for sending that fist figure right there. It's one of the Doom Troopers, I believe. And then we have Valaverse, one of the Swarm figures. I forgot the name of that one. But we have most of the Viper's main Cobra characters. I'm still missing a lot of Cobra characters for sure, but this is really what I call a great collection for what it is at the time. We have Serpentor up there in the front, which is pretty cool. A Super 7 Bat, thank you Mr. Sampson for that one. And for the Serpentor too. Really adds a nice gold touch to the collection. And then Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, thank you so much for that Once a Man Cobra Commander. And I have the Hiss drivers and tacticians in the front with Alley Viper. I absolutely love these troopers right here in the front, the Valkyries. All that's freaking fantastic. Back there we have the Range Vipers, some bats, a lot of the other Cobra figures like Tomac Zammot, Firefly, Scrap Iron, Major Blood, Destro, Dr. Mindbender. So as a whole, freaking great. And I love Copperhead right there. Copperhead's such a great classified figure. Some Dreadnoks in the back, and then a custom Night Viper, some Python Patrols, Eels, and Storm Shadow, and all that stuff. So really great for what it is. It's just, when I already have a lot of the O-Ring collections, I just, I have to kind of pick and choose because I'm running out of space. But that is the villains for the, and that's my lamp, villains for the classified figures. And I love these blue ninjas and red ninjas right there. Freaking fantastic. I put Akiko in there because I feel like she can just be a villain instead of a good guy, so whatever. So that is my Cobra collection for GI Joe Classified. And now moving to the left, we have the GI Joe Classified Good Guys. Now in the back, I decided to put a lot of the green colored figures, some of the OG 13. Wanted to kind of emphasize like the hard hitters in the back, and in the front to kind of get more of like that goofiness of other styled characters. In the front, we have G.I. Joe Extreme and some latest pickups from the O-Ring line, like this OG Stalker right there. This is the swivel arm version. Got a Wild Weasel and a Iron Grenadier. Tunnel Rat, freaking fantastic figure. Love Airborne and the Steel Core. And some of these figures are weak, some of these are great, but some of these can also be improved on. Like Shipwreck is a pretty cool figure, but it's not the best. But I love the Spirit figure. But you can see a lot of these figures are really just, I guess what you can say, a mix and match of so many different styles of modern and vintage. And that's why every time when I do my videos, I like to do comparisons, because you can see all these Joes right here, and like how muted and dark in terms of color they are. But then you look down here to my O-Ring collection and you just see like how vibrantly colorful and beautiful all these figures look compared to the muted and dark Classified. So I guess, you know, it's more realistic, and I understand that's more cartoon accurate. But seeing both of these like as a whole, you're just like, you know, Classified's great, but I love my O-Ring collection, so it's good to have like a mix and match of Joes and Cobras all kind of like staring at each other or stare down. Of course, again, G.I. Joe Extreme being in the front. But, you know, when I look at these O-Rings, I'm like, man, very well done. Then I look at the Classified, I'm just like, well, some of these figures could have been a little bit better looking, but, you know, it is what it is. So, against Low Light being a really fantastic figure. Love the Kamakura and Agent Helix figure. Chuckles is pretty cool too. I'm sure we'll get him down the line. Cobra Island Beachhead with Sergeant Slaughter and Retro Duke. I don't have a Flint yet. I feel like they'll do a Retro Flint at some point. So like I said, it's all going to be pick and choose from here on out, because do I want to stay with modern or retro? And honestly, I really don't know. And it just depends on what it is I want to do. So that is the G.I. Joe portion of the top shelf. Cobras on the right and Classified figures, or the Joes on the left, which is pretty cool. And then we got the O-Rings on the bottom. So this is basically the main toy shelf where I have all my figures. It's really, really cool to look at. And let's move on to some other goodies. Alright, so on this side we have a little special shelf where I'm still trying to get the other two remaining Street Sharks figures. We have some DVDs that I picked up from the my trip in Texas, if you haven't seen my live stream where I talked about it. And then in the back here we have some carded figures. Well, aside from the obvious G.I. Joe Classified HasLab His Tank. Thank you so much, Sendel Krishnan, for this gift. It's freaking beautiful. We got some PlayStation games. I don't know where the hell I'm going to put the Dragonfly, so I got to figure that out. On the back here we have a carded Mortal Kombat Shang Tsung figure from Infinite Concepts. We have some awesome gifts from Santa Samson. Some carded Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, really cool. We have one of my favorite Cobras, aside from Copperhead and Night Viper. We have Jungle Viper, freaking fantastic looking figure. We have a custom G.I. Joe Chuck Norris figure, which is really dope. Awesome. We have the HasLab Cobra Commander right there. And then we have a really awesome gift from Mr. Samson, Santa Samson for that is. He gave me gifted my own G.I. Joe carded figure, communications expert. You can see it says Shark right there. So thank you so much, Santa Samson, for that gift. Freaking fantastic. I absolutely love it. And I'm a G.I. Joe. How awesome is that? So this is basically a carded section of figures. And yeah, I can't wait to complete my Street Sharks as well. Alright, so now moving towards the top of the shelf here. This is basically what I call some of my favorite 90s properties. We have, again, some more NECA Turtles, where I actually have the original movie 91 heads, whereas the other shelf that you saw prior, they had the more goofier expressions to kind of give it like a TMNT 2 vibe. In the front, I have the Warriors of Virtue. If you don't know what that show is, it's basically the kangaroo version of Ninja Turtles. Some Animal Warriors of the Kingdom figure, really, really awesome. Trying to fit some in the back there. the biker mice from Mars from the NECA company. And of course, one of my all-time favorite brands is Small Soldiers. These are basically all completed Small Soldiers figures. Fantastic. Every single character I have from the Small Soldiers line, aside from like the variants, but like at least the main roster, I have. See Nick Nitro right there in the back. And here on this side you can see Infinite Concepts. Well, this is a McFarlane Toys Kotal Khan, but Infinite Concepts Mortal Kombat figures. Liu Kang, Sub-Zero, Shang Tsung, Scorpion. We have another Storm Collectibles Rain, and I think either Sonya Blade is back there somewhere. Yeah, you can't really see she's kind of right behind Rain. So unfortunately, Infinite Concepts did not complete the Mortal Kombat line. So there was supposed to be a wave 2, but they did not make it, which had Reptile and Jax and Johnny Cage and Raiden. Very, very unfortunate, and Katana, I think. So these are the only 5 characters that they've made, or 6. So yeah, other than that, we got some more figures in the back there, Animal Wars of the Kingdom, but absolutely love these. I guess I call this like the anthropomorphic shelf of some 90s goodies, and freaking love these updates. I hope somebody can modernize the Warriors of Virtue at some point, but yeah, I absolutely love this shelf right here. And before I conclude the video, we have some Street Sharks from the original 90s figures from Mattel. So down here you can see I had the newer 2024 versions, and then up here I have the old 90s versions, which is I'm hoping to also acquire in the modern updated version as well, which is pretty awesome. If you look on the right side here, I have some Funko Pops, which I'll get into in another video. A lot of Sega Genesis games, some VHS tapes, a lot of VHS movies, and a lot of other DVDs and movies that I enjoy watching. And behind these DVDs are even more DVDs, so I'll have a DVD collection video at some point, but for now I want to stick straight towards the toys. And again, there's more Funko Pops behind these and more video games and stuff, so Mortal Kombat Funkos. I believe there's like a Bob Ross and Jerry Seinfeld and the 2 Linkin Park Funkos there, so that's pretty cool. Alright, and now I want to look into some of the play sets that I have here on the table. We have the 2001 G.I. Joe headquarters, which is freaking amazing. It's kind of facing the other direction, but you pretty much get the idea. The missiles I have in a bag somewhere, so unfortunately it's all complete, but I just didn't have time to take all that stuff out. We had an Ostriker from KB Toys I remember buying, which came with the Pathfinder figure, and then some cool sand and stuff, dirt, really cool tech gizmo stuff. I absolutely love this command center. Really brought out some amazing G.I. Joes, and of course the Rhino tank that came with a Dusty figure. Freaking fantastic. A missile launcher, really dope. So this is where my G.I. Joe craze started, with this headquarters, because the detail is just absolutely awesome. You can see a lot of the pegs where you can place figures and do some crazy Dio shots from old figures and stuff. So that's what I absolutely love about it. It's really it's probably my favorite headquarters. And if you don't know the story behind this, maybe I'll do a special video for the channel members and talk about this at some point. So that is the 2001 G.I. Joe headquarters. And then down here I have the command center, which was another gift given by Santa Samson. So thank you so much, Mr. Samson, for this. I absolutely love having this command center from 1985, was it? Very blessed, because this was a command center I always wanted as a kid, and I just was never able to get it. So very glad that Mrs. Samson was very gracious enough to send it to me as a gift. So now I have this command center, and I have the headquarters, so both 2 in 1 is really going to make a G.I. Joe fanboy go absolutely crazy. And there are some really cool modded updates, like some silver paints and stuff on the stairs, and really cool updated sticker decals and stuff. So just absolutely awesome. So thank you so much, Mr. Samson, for this fantastic gift. On this side of the wall right here, I have a G.I. Joe poster with a lot of the characters, which is freaking awesome. My best friend gifted this to me on his trip to Maryland, so I love looking at all these amazing different rosters and stuff. So really cool to be a G.I. Joe fan and see this poster in my room, so I absolutely love it. And moving on the right side here, which I don't have a frame for, but as you guys know, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. So I have the Mortal Kombat 2 poster from the video game. It's freaking huge, so I hope to get a poster for it at some point. But yeah, it's just so damn iconic, and I love looking at it. And you can see Reptile there, my favorite Mortal Kombat character. Looks freaking fantastic. And of course, nothing can prepare you. To roughly conclude this entire collection video, huge shout out to Double Barrel Gaming for sending these over as a gift on the previous channel. So we have a lot of the old school G.I. Joes and this amazing box set of awesome looking characters, which is really cool because there's like all this artwork and stuff on the back, which is absolutely fantastic, and I love the gloss there, which is really cool. There's another one with Cobra Commander on it, and then when you open this one up, you have some cool looking Cobra Troopers, Commander, Storm Shadow, Baroness, and Destro. Nice artwork there as well. So I'm definitely not opening these up. These will stay in the box. So this is beautiful. And then the last one we have here is another Cobra Commander, which is the Cobra Legions. We have Cobra Commander on the podium, and then we have some other versions of Cobra Troopers and stuff like that, drivers, and Storm Shadow in a different outfit, and more artwork right there, which is really Cobra Air Trooper. Really fantastic looking box set for sure. So thank you so much, Double Barrel Gaming, for this. And the last thing I want to share is I forgot who sent this to me as a gift, so it was on the previous channel, so I do apologize. But this was the GI Joe Classified 00 Snake Eyes, basically where it all started. So thank you so much. I do apologize. I had your name written down on the old channel. But this was the original where it all started and classified with the 00 Snake Eyes. So I have opened it in terms of the figure, but this is just one of those things where it's so beautiful that I don't even want to open it. So that is the 00 Snake Eyes that I actually have. Okay, I do apologize because there's one more thing I wanted to share, which was the Art of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero book, the omnibus hardcover. Thank you so much, 3D Joes, for sending this over as a gift as well. So if you own this, you'll know how freaking heavy it is, and I don't want to open it, but you guys pretty much get the whole, well, actually I can't open it, but really cool. I won't go through all the details because I've done a video on this before on the old channel, but if you own this, you'll know how massive and beautiful this is, and I can't wait to hang up some of the posters and all that stuff in there. So alright, you guys, so that is my 2024 toy collection video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I appreciate everyone who enjoyed this video. So make sure you give a like and subscribe, as I will be updating this collection and, you know, as time goes on and more figures that I purchase. But for now, thank you guys so much for supporting the brand new Shark News channel, and I'll see you guys all in the next updated video. And if you are a channel member, stay tuned, as I will be having some bonus content for you guys. So stay tuned for that. So again, thank you guys all so much for watching. Give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode.